Have you ever wondered about Dubai real estate, investing in real estate, and what it is like to live there? I know I have. I used to fantasize about living in Dubai, the architecture, just everything about it. And when I found out a colleague of mine has moved there, I had to have her on the Wealthy Acre podcast. Melissa Wu has graciously accepted even though our time difference challenges. Melissa has been a top real estate agent on the coast for over 20 years and is now expanding her real estate expertise to the global real estate markets and investing opportunities in Dubai. Now, I really want to thank having Melissa here with us. And she's looking amazing. I feel, Melissa, like you're aging backwards. Now, that's a podcast for another day. Let's get started. Thank you so much for being here. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Melissa Wu. I've been a real estate agent in Greater Vancouver for over 20 years, since 2003. So a little bit about my background is I was born in China. At that time, China is poor. So my parents decided to take us to Macau. So in Macau, we were waiting to immigrate to Vancouver, Canada. So in Macau, I went to school, elementary school, up till grade 3. So in Vancouver, I went to ESL in elementary school and finished my elementary school, high school, and university at UBC. So from there, after graduating at UBC, I was working in many jobs, particularly TELUS. I worked for TELUS, BC Tel. In communication, I was on the phone doing a lot of phone work. So I was always the operator and telesales. So I'm, very comfortable on the phone. So from there, I never really made much money compared to real estate in my career. So that was a really good thank you to my mentor. So he was a builder in Vancouver, Mr. Baldev Sandhu, who opened up the real estate opportunity for me. Because back then in 2003, when I first started real estate, he is a Indo-Canadian builder. So he knows all the Vancouver East Side property really well. So from there, because I speak Chinese, so Indo-Canadians would build and Chinese buyers would buy the new home. And also when they buy the new home, they would be selling their existing home. So it would be, triple ending.
Makes sense.
And yes. And I was a rookie of the year in my first year. So that was really amazing. So really feel blessed to be able to have a wonderful career in Vancouver.
Amazing. And you've done such incredible things. And I know you've been top realtor for so many years. We met, 10 years ago? And I'm just so thrilled to talk to you about why did you move to Dubai? What were your driving forces there?
So because, having a very blessed career in Vancouver. So over the years in residential real estate, because I'm very focused on residential real estate. So over the years, of course, myself, built homes. My brother is a builder, as well as we also accumulated residential real estate. In the last few years, it's very difficult to use residential real estate as a financial asset. Particularly many taxes, empty home tax, vacancy tax, speculation tax, increased capital gains tax. It's okay because we make money, we can pay the tax. But in 2002, I gave birth to my son.
Congratulations, by the way. He's
Yes.
a cutie pie.
Yeah, I love him. So with him, I think it really made me change perspective, not just always hustle, right? So I gave birth to him in November of 2022. And so after my sitting month, in Chinese custom, we have a sitting month, then is a new year also. So in the new year, all the taxes pile up. There was you need to file your GST, your corporate tax, personal tax, in Vancouver, because I'm so heavily focused in Vancouver, empty home tax, speculation tax, all these kind of was very stressful for me as a new mom.
Yeah.
So also at that time, in January of 2023, BC decriminalize personal use of recreational drugs. So a few of these things add up. I have a little bit depression. So I have to research how I can diversify my real estate investment portfolio. Rather than so heavily focused, like all my eggs in one basket, how do I diversify my portfolio? So therefore, I went to a lot of US, I went to Texas. I looked at projects over there. We had a capital loss of all my money. We invested in a share of a multi-family. So we lost all the money, but still have to pay withholding tax. In Phoenix, we also went to look at individual homes in Scottsdale, but the mortgage rate is 10% for Canadians because in fact, Canadians investing in US are alien investors. So anybody as a Canadian want to invest in US, please check very carefully about the tax implication. When you invest in US, also when you want to take money out of US, there is a withholding tax, right? They said withholding tax, but actually you don't get it back.
Wow, I had no idea. That's really valuable information. Absolutely.
Very complicated taxation.
Yeah.
And if you're filing every year, cross border taxation, not many accountants know how to do it. It gets very complicated. The accounting fee can be 5,000. So we look at many because, EXP Realty, we always go to, different conferences in the States. We've went to Florida. So, we looked at all the lower tax states whereby we think we can get a higher capital appreciation for our investments. But in fact, it's very complicated. And when you do want to cash out, a large portion would be withheld for alien investor Canadians.
Wow, I had no idea. So, what were the other driving forces for you to go into Dubai? You looked at Europe, you looked at a couple of different areas for lifestyle as well for your son. I know that was a big decision.
So in North America, besides US, there's also Mexico. We don't feel safe in Mexico simply because, the cocaine and we had bad experience in the Mexico. So my husband is from Europe. So in 2022, when I was in my second trimester, we went with my parents to look at Europe, and my dad got pickpocketed, and he's not alone. So this kind of crime in Europe is really not safe. Also, the return on investments is not that good, simply because Italy is very difficult to buy. France, there's no more ROI, very difficult to buy in Paris. UK is also very difficult. It's not safe anymore. So we also eliminate Europe. Then we decide maybe we look at Singapore because Singapore is very, the Switzerland of Asia. So Singapore actually recently implemented a 60% on residential real estate, 60% foreign buyer
60?
tax, 60.
60%? That's
60.
incredible. That's
Yes.
massive.
That's huge. So therefore, like, there's no more like, China economy is not doing well. Hong Kong real estate is not doing good. Cannot invest in Singapore. Europe is no good. North America, So basically, where do we go? So from my online research, we've been to Dubai in 2019. So me and my husband discussed, we have to look for other opportunities. So of course we like, no tax, right? So Dubai have no such tax, no capital gains tax, no withholding tax, no flipping tax, no annual property tax.
That's
So
amazing.
then, yeah, so me and my mom came in April of 2023 when my son was only 4 months, right? So we came here for 3 weeks and we just absolutely loved it. Two females traveling. We are so privileged and respected as a female, especially Asian or any expats. Females are respected. We feel safe, very low crime. So it was one of the main reasons we chose because we want a low crime place. No drugs. Drugs are not allowed.
Yes.
So we feel safe, and the return on investment is been amazing. So minimum you're making like double digit on capital appreciation. Rental return is 7 to 10% on residential real estate. So very relatively simple model when we invest in residential real estate. So all these factors add up. Also, UAE is now the world's most stable economy. It was Switzerland, now UAE is most stable. Most stable meaning there is no change of different political situation. It's just the Sheikh, His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He is the ruler and leader of this place. So whenever we invest in residential real estate, we have to look at the leadership and the policies and the political situation. So this
Absolutely.
is a big key investment factor. So the leadership is great, it's very stable, and the currency is very stable because the UAE dirham is pegged with the USD currency. So it's in fact like 1 USD is equal to 3.65 dirham. So it's kind of like owning a piece of US real estate in the Middle East in a tax haven.
Amazing. So if we're comparing the dirham to a Canadian, how does the currency work?
So the Canadian has been dropping because of, the situation. So therefore, it's like it was 2.6, now it's 2.5. So every Canadian dollar equals to 2.5 dirham.
It looks like you're doing the right things for your son and your family, which is amazing, especially the safety and so forth. Outside of the incredible architecture. What are some of the other things you love doing there? How is the food? What is the lifestyle? What do you do there usually on a day to day? What do you do for fun?
So day to day, of course, we do real estate. There are two parts of real estate because I'm passionate about real estate. So in Dubai, there's two main parts to real estate. There's primary real estate, which is pre-sale, under construction, project pre-sale, because Dubai actually is still being built.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part is, existing, whereby, like, Vancouver, I'm a listing queen. I take all the listings, but it's very different. The listing here, actually, the seller can sign three agents, and sellers don't pay commission.
So the buyer pays the commission. Is that?
The buyer, yes. When the buyer buys a property, the buyer pays 2% commission. So that is the existing market. So it's very different than Vancouver, and there's no MLS, no multiple listing service.
So how do you find listings?
So you can go on portals like, in Vancouver, we have REW. In Dubai, we have Property Finder. So you can go to these portals and look at what you want. Most of the time, the listing agent would deal directly with the buyer. But so unless you're experienced and you know the market, is kind of, you could be paying way more. So therefore, when I have clients coming in to invest, we show them project pre-sale, because typically a pre-sale project is lower price than the existing market.
I see.
Developers are selling at a little bit discounted price because you actually have to invest 80% during construction, 60 to 80% during construction, and 20 to 40% at the handover when you get the keys. So in fact, the investor is kind of lending money to the developer to build the project. So that is why there is a little bit discount compared to the existing market.
I see. So they're basically being funded by the buyers in
Yes.
order to build.
And for fun, I mean, you asked me about food. There's all kinds of food here. Over 180 nations are here. For myself, I like Chinese food, of course. There's a new Chinatown mall. There's a Michelin star food. There's something for everyone. Whatever culture background you're from, you can find the food here. So we get all kinds of food, everything. But of course, Vancouver food is amazing. I love my Vancouver food. But Dubai, you get exposed to so many different kinds of cuisine.
Being primarily Islamic culture, do you find that it restricts lifestyle in any way? And how does it compare to living in Canada?
So when we came to Dubai, one of the reasons we chose it is because it's so catered to expats. The population composition is actually only 10% Emirati. The other 90% is actually global expats. So the local residents, of course, they have their own culture. They do their tradition and heritage. The other 90% also do their own thing. Like some people come to Dubai to party. There's of course a lot of parties, and there's beaches. You can get all kinds of lifestyle. So it's quite open. When they say dress code, if you're going to resorts and beaches, people are dressing in bikinis, all kinds. So as long as you're respectful and you just mind your own enjoyment, then it's okay. As long as you don't be drunk in public, foul language in public, be respectful, then it's very easy for us. We just super love the lifestyle here, actually.
That sounds lovely. And the food and the lifestyle in general, it sounds like you've really, really made it a home. That's amazing. And what about, because you've mentioned crime, and you've mentioned that the crime is almost non-existent, and that's one of the drivers that made you move there. Are they just harsher on crime, or how are they making it happen?
Yes, so the laws are quite strict on, stealing. CCTV is everywhere. That's why a lot of people, even if you leave your cell phone, your wallet, then nobody would take it because, CCTV is watching.
Somebody's watching, yeah.
It's very well monitored. That is on the physical petty crime. But when you come to Dubai, just beware, like in any country, there's also online scams or online, people calling you. They might say, they're from certain place, or I'm calling you from the bank or something like this. Just know that, just hang up the phone.
Okay.
Don't answer calls like that. When I was back in Vancouver on the, Chinese channel, they were saying, all kinds of crime in Vancouver as well. These online scammers. So just be careful. The physical crime is not there, but, online or somebody calling you, just be very careful of that.
That's really good advice for sure, especially if you're coming in to visit or a tourist or anything like that.
Yes.
And what about the transportation? There's a lot of people in small Dubai. How does the transportation work?
So the highways are really big. there could be like 6 lanes or 8 lanes on each side, but there is heavy traffic. So we do have something like the Vancouver SkyTrain. It's the Dubai Metro. So they're building more and more lines to ease congestion. So Dubai is always finding solution to situation. So for example, there's congestion in a certain area, they're going to build a new road. We were just here for 1 year. We see a few new roads already built.
Very proactive.
Yes, and also drone planes, cars, passenger drone are coming in 2 years. So that will ease some traffic if you want to speed and fly like a billionaire. You can definitely, travel from the airport to Palm Jumeirah, different like major hubs. You can do drone car in 2 years. For myself, for us, we actually have a driver. In Dubai, you can easily hire a driver. So you don't even have to drive. You can use your time in the car on your cell phone or, talking or focus on your clients rather than driving. So to hire a driver here is about 1,500 Canadian per month. So
Okay.
we hire the driver using our company under our company visa. So actually quite convenient. There's Uber, there's taxi on different apps. Very easy to go around anywhere. Very metropolis.
And didn't Elon Musk mention a loop or something like this that's
Yeah,
happening?
so different like for major connections like Dubai downtown to Dubai Marina to different like major attraction spots, they're gonna make a loop. So it's like a speed, kind of like a metro station, but a different hyperloop that's faster for transportation.
Awesome. Yes, I heard Elon Musk refer it to as a wormhole.
We'll see when that comes. Always come to Dubai to see the newest innovation.
Right? Yes. What about politics? I know you touched on it a little bit. It seems like it's very stable there. It seems like it's a very well governed. Is that the right terminology?
Yes. So basically, the United Arab Emirates, every emirate has its own sheikh, the ruler, His Highness. So Abu Dhabi have own sheikh, Dubai have own sheikh, Sharjah, Ajman. So 7 emirates altogether have their own sheikh, and they united to make the United Arab Emirates. So in Dubai, we have His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. So it's like generational tribe governance. So there's no political party. There wouldn't be like another party coming in every 4 years or voting. So in a way, it's efficient. And His Highness vision, you can check online. It's called the Dubai Vision 2040 to double the population of Dubai. So in order to double the population, the local Emirati is only 10%. So how to double the population? By opening up. It's like an open economy to attract expats, talented expats or expats with, investments to come to build Dubai and call Dubai home. So it's been amazing for us. Also, the Golden Visa. The Golden Visa also open up lots of opportunity for expats to come. It's like a 10-year resident visa.
So what happens after 10 years?
So the 10-year in for us is the 10-year visa tied to your real estate investment. So any Canadian want to get a second residency here or US or anybody from 180 nations can come and get it. It's a 555 USD for it's about 2 million dirham for the 10-year golden visa, and you only need to invest 20% for pre-sale project, and you would get something called the OCUD, pre-title deed, and then you can use the OCUD to apply for the golden visa, and you can get that within 3 to 4 weeks. It's the world's fastest residency. So what happens is this visa is tied to your real estate investment. Suppose you sell the real estate, then your visa will be canceled. So in order to keep or renew the visa, you must keep 2 million dirham worth of investment, or you can switch the visa to the. So once the visa is finished, right, then you need to make sure you have the $2 million of investment. If you don't, then your visa will be canceled. But if you have it, then it would just be renewed.
Interesting. So they want to keep you investing and they want to make sure that you're investing in the economy and real estate and so forth. That's fascinating.
Yes.
How's the rental market there?
Rental is very high. Yeah, rental yield is very high. So when we first moved in, we invest in like a home that's pre-sale project that is not ready. So therefore, we are renting. We're renting in Business Bay, which is adjacent to downtown. So I paid 155,000 dirham plus utilities every month, plus like internet, chiller fee for the air conditioning. So all that add up about almost 17,000 dirham. So 6,000 per month for a 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,000 square feet. So it is quite high. So therefore, we decide not to rent anymore after a year and a half. We're going to move into one bedroom that we already purchased. Some of the developers, when we're selecting pre-sale project, we have to choose a developer depending on the time frame you want to move in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
some developer can let you move in 1 year. That's amazing if you want to move in 1 year. But some developer maybe 3 to 4, even 5 years. So very important on your goal on investing to know if you want to move in quickly or it's okay. You can take longer time because when you have longer time, you can also slowly pay towards the project.
That definitely makes sense.
So it's about 10% return what I'm paying. The owner, like for my condo, she bought it for 1.6 or 1.7. So she's getting 10% return on rental. It's very high.
That's amazing. So it does cash flow.
Yes, positive cash flow.
What is the mortgage process there?
The mortgage process, so there's two mortgages, right? So for us, we're now resident. We will build up some kind of record, like with the bank, 6 months of banking record. You need to show some proof of income. So then the rate for like we are entrepreneur, so self-employed, the rate is about 5.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you're employed and you have a high income, it will be lower. It's about 1% lower. But if you're an expat, it will be 1% more. So meaning you have no like local income. So depending on your situation, and you need to plan the mortgage accordingly. Usually you should plan the mortgage 6 months before the handover of the keys.
Yeah, 6 months
Yeah.
prior. So let's say you invest in a property, you purchase a property there, and you're not living there. Do you have property managers that handle that, finding a
Yes.
tenant and all
So
that?
as a licensed real estate agent locally, you can also help your client to manage the long-term rental. So usually rental agreement is long-term is 1 year, year to year. But when the owner wants to sell the property that's long-term rental, they need to give 1 year notice to the tenant.
1 year notice.
Yes. So that's why I need to plan ahead. If you're going to be flipping the property, then maybe not go into long term. So there's no usage restriction. You can leave it empty, you can rent it long term, or you can do holiday home Airbnb. So do whatever you want to do. If you think you're going to sell it in 6 months, then put it on holiday home or Airbnb rental. Then you don't need to worry about 1 year notice.
And Airbnb, is it pretty lucrative there? Like it's
Yes,
popular?
very lucrative. Usually you would get anywhere between 8 to 15%. So very good because Dubai, it is a tourist destination, one of the top tier tour destination. About 18 million tourists come to Dubai every year. So very good to put it on the holiday home.
That makes sense. That's a lot of tourists.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
What when traveling there as a tourist, what do you do? Is there a lot to see? Is there a lot to do? Is there a lot of restaurants and bars? Like what do tourists usually do there?
So depending on the tours, what they like to do. So usually, you can check on Google the top 10 things to do. So the first thing to do, usually people want to see the iconic Burj Khalifa, which is the world's tallest tower, Dubai downtown, which is in Dubai downtown with the Dubai Mall. So that could be 1 or 2 days just to see part of it. You will not finish the whole thing because Dubai Mall is 1 million square feet. Lots to do and lots to see there. Yes. And lots to shop. If you like shopping, it's like shopping paradise. So from there, then you spend a few days in that downtown, and then probably spend another few days in Dubai Marina, which is actually built modeled after Vancouver. You will see a lot of similarities between Dubai Marina to Vancouver. It's actually kind of like Solano and Jericho with downtown.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's the beach. So a lot of tourists actually love to stay in Dubai Marina because they like the beach, they like the metropolis, they like the restaurant. So that cluster can stay like 2, 3 days, and then you would do some maybe desert safari, camel riding, things like that. So at least a week to do the tourist attraction. And you can do some boating, some sea doing, a lot of water activities.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I'm gonna be on the next flight, I think.
And actually, Air Canada seasonal nonstop. Meaning, so from November to February, you can get a nonstop flight from Dubai to Vancouver, nonstop, 14 to 16 hours. But they're not operating every day, maybe 2, 3 days a week. So you have to check the schedule and do the nonstop is very easy.
That's the way I would go, nonstop,
Yeah,
for
nonstop.
sure. That's awesome. So, when purchasing a condo there, what are some of the expenses for the landlord and for the tenant?
So as I mentioned earlier, there's two investments you can do. Primary, meaning like project pre-sale off plan. So same lingo. So in Vancouver, we call it a project pre-sale. In Dubai, they call it off-plan because you're buying just off the drawing, so off-plan. So it's also called primary real estate. So with that, the only expense that we need to know is the 4% DLD, which is the Dubai Land Department registration fee, similar to a property transfer tax in BC. So that is 4% in Dubai. In Abu Dhabi, is 2%.
Okay.
So depending on which emirate you invest, but majority people will invest in Dubai because it's more liquid. There's more transaction in Dubai. So after you pay the 4%, the developer might also have something called administration fee or documentation fee. That is about like a few thousand. So that would be your first like major part of the down payment. So 20% down payment plus the 4% DLD plus the administration fee will be your first chunk of money you need to put down. Typically, it's your first year you will pay that. Then the second installment will come depending on the payment plan of the project from the developer. So
And
investors need to know whether they have the money ready to invest.
makes total sense. And that's good to know up front for sure. And what about
Yes.
living there, like living expenses, property taxes, operation? You mentioned chilling tax and all these different things. What does that usually accumulate to, and who pays for that?
Okay, so for us, suppose you have a property or even tenant, there's a few fees we need to pay, such as the DERA, which is like BC Hydro, the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, the monthly bill. There is something called housing fee. Housing fee is paid by the occupant. If you are a tenant and you're occupying, then the tenant bears the housing fee. It's a few hundred dirham per month inside the DERA bill. And then you will see the electricity is really not that high and the water is not that high, but the housing fee is almost like an annual property tax, but they call it housing fee bear by the occupant.
I see. So the tenant, if there's a tenant in there, they're the ones that are
The
paying
long-term
the
tenant
housing
would be
fee.
paying for the DERA. And then
Okay.
so then the AC bill is usually in power, so about 100 or 200 per month. So the electricity would be 300, 400 per
Okay.
month, and then there's internet will be 100 per month. So these three fees to pay per month. It's just very similar to owning a property or renting a property in Vancouver.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's really important information.
Oh, but by the way, there's no annual property tax. There's no annual property tax.
There isn't.
And you don't even have to file anything. No need to file like speculation, no need to file empty home. Just know, as a landlord, if I'm renting it to a tenant, I don't have to file any or pay any property tax. The tenant is paying the housing fee.
So it's just really cost effective to hold on to property there, have a tenant in there, and just manage it. And how has the real estate market been throughout the years in terms of it going up or down in value? How has it been throughout the years when you're looking at forecasting forward and looking back?
Looking back, you can see actually Dubai is very young city. So approximately like Dubai Marina, 20 something years. Downtown is only 15 years, right? It only opened Burj Khalifa and Dubai Mall in 2010. So very just a baby metropolis if you compare to like even Vancouver is 100, UK is maybe like over 1,000, right? Like London is very older city. So in fact, Dubai is a very baby city. If we go back to look at the very beginning, when freehold started in Dubai in 2002, of course, the market was going very wild, very high. But then it
Yeah.
also, because it was just a baby, it's not mature, there's no regulation like today. There is RERA regulation, which is the real estate regulatory authority. So licensing and escrow account is now here. Before it was not, it was just like the Wild West. So now investors can feel comfortable. It's not as volatile because the government also learned how to improve and how to protect the investors, right? So if we go back to history, we look at two major corrections, which is during the world financial crisis in 2008. So you can see it plunged. And then it went back up. And then when the Expo 2020 was announced in 2014, you can see another spike. And then it went down again. So, but that time, that is that time Dubai compared to today's Dubai is very different. Dubai has matured to have regulations to protect investors. So now today, when you're investing in project pre-sale, the money doesn't go directly to the developer. It goes to something called escrow account, kind of like a trust account. The money stay in the trust account, which is regulated and monitored by the Dubai Land Department and RERA. So developer cannot run away. Right? They only release the money to the developer when there is a progress in the construction.
Okay, that makes
So in
sense.
fact, investors are protected and they can feel safe to invest in Dubai. So now looking forward, where is the market going? You can see the vision of 2040. Dubai plans to double the population. When you have a doubling of the population, people need a home to live. So residential real estate is still going to be strong because of the Dubai Vision 2040. And also Dubai has the Dubai Economic Agenda D33 to double the GDP. That is very ambitious plan to double the GDP in different sectors. Actually, Dubai GDP does not depend on oil anymore. Few major things is retail shopping. When you
Wow.
come to Dubai, you do about 20% is on retail shopping, and then 20% on tourism, and approximately 20% on trade, international trade. Dubai is actually a trading hub. And new trading routes are being formed, trading with Africa, Europe, Asia. So a major trading hub, and also, of course, real estate. So these are the different sectors to, increase the GDP. So therefore, different talents are coming to Dubai. Different talents, innovation, doctors, crypto, AI, technology, all coming in, all these major talents coming in. When large corporations come in, they have their employees coming in. So therefore, we need housing. But the demand is too high. The supply is only, keeping up with the demand. So therefore, when you invest in residential real estate, you can feel, at least 3 to 5 years is a stable double-digit return.
That sounds so promising and so amazing, and it makes complete sense. You did mention taxes, no capital gains, no speculation tax, no vacancy tax.
Also, no withholding tax. So if you do want to cash out, there's no withholding tax like the US. You can just take it and go and cash out.
So, what about flipping properties, getting your money out and moving it back into Canada or the United States? How complicated is that?
So not complicated at all. So for example, when you invest in an off plan, typically maybe it's 1 year to 5 years, right? When the project is ready. So on this is the time frame. So but majority of the capital appreciation happen closer to when it's finished. Because towards the finishing line, the property can be rented, can be Airbnb, can be mortgaged, can be lived in. So when you make the most capital appreciation, you need to select the developer when you want the handover. And you also have to look at your own money, whether it can meet the time frame. If it's ready in 1 year, your money also need to be ready in 1 year, right? If you say my money, I don't have money that quick, I need 3 to 5 years to pay it, then you select that kind of project. So now when you want to flip it, I would recommend my clients, flip it closer to the handover. When you flip it, then the buyer, oh, I can live in it. I like it. Then they will buy from you, and you get your money. It's very quick. If it's a cash to cash, you will get it right away. If it's mortgage, then it might take, a month or so. So depending on like if it's a mortgage to mortgage or a cash to cash transaction, once you get your money, then you can just wire it anywhere in the world. Right?
Okay.
If you're wiring back to Canada, if you're making capital appreciation, then you might, of course, file your taxes in, whichever country you're in.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about Gold Mount Capital and a sister company as
Yes.
well. So it's you and your husband. It's a family-based business. Tell us what you're offering investors and how you're helping people.
Yes. So my husband is the owner of the company, Gomao Real Estate. So I'm his agent. So basically, of course, we are licensed to sell with a non-objection certificate with all the major developers. So major developer in Dubai have government ones or private ones. We always qualify the best developers according to our clients' needs. So for example, a government developer, there will be EMAR, Nakhil, Dubai Properties, the major developers, we are licensed to sell their projects, as well as, big developers locally, also like Shoba, Object One, Inman, Bengadi is a big one. We also are investors with them. We bought with them. So they're very fast in construction. So if you want a fast handover, I would recommend that. So depending on the client's investment objective and how long they want to, take time to pay or they want quickly. So we would qualify the project and match to the client's needs. So that
Fantastic.
is focus because the reason why we focus on off-plan pre-sale project because the existing market, the client need to usually come up with the money right away. And not that many clients have this huge chunk of money to buy the existing property. Also, they don't want to pay like 4% DOD plus 2% agency fee. The transaction cost is quite much higher than the off-plan pre-sale project.
The off-plan pre-sale projects, do you get paid by the developer as a realtor
Yes,
or
so
okay.
developer pay us, so the client don't have to pay the 2%.
And that makes sense. So they save there as well.
Yes, exactly. And it's an easier payment plan. And so if clients say, oh, I want something easy, there's even 1% per month. So depending on, the objective and the cash available, we would match it according to, their needs and wants and goals.
I'm assuming there's a lot of building right now in Dubai. It must be insane, like the amount of building that's coming up. Is it traffic because of it? Like, how are they managing so much development?
So also there are many developers as well. So it's not like one developer. There's master developer, like I mentioned, like usually the government ones are the master community developer. They would be building like the micro city, the infrastructure, the road, the schools, the hospital. So anytime there's a new community coming up, they would have all the infrastructure built first.
Okay.
So then, even roads, they're managing like, okay, so now we're building a community here. We need new roads. We need a quicker access. So they would, plan all that and then build the community or micro city in that area. So coming back to your question, the entire Emirate of Dubai has actually 750,000 residential units. So, but the population is 3.5. So meaning 4 residents get 1 unit. So meaning actually is under supply, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't include like commercial or hotels or different usage. But if you look at just residential unit, there are actually only 750,000, and the yearly output, like handover completed units, last year I think it's just less than 50,000. But new expats coming in, or like approximately 150,000 visa new residents. But there's also people like that are coming for 90 days to trying to find a job. Like, Europeans, they get a 90-day visa on arrival, Canadians 40-day visa on arrival. So there's so many influx of tourists and people wanting the opportunity. There's actually undersupply of
Wow.
residential units.
Wow, that's awesome. This is so good, Melissa. Like, I'm getting so much information. It's like mind blowing. And you mentioned double digit returns on your
Yes.
investments. Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that.
So double digit return, we also are collaborating with some companies locally that are in, different asset classes. So for example, if a client have, 1 million dirham and then the property, they want to also buy 1 million. So, but they don't need to put all the money to the developer. Even if you give the developer the 1 million right away, you don't get your unit, right? So even they might just give you 5% discount. So meaning, you're waiting all this time, you're only getting 5% on your return because you're only getting 5% discount. So what we usually recommend client do is give the 20% down payment with the 4% DLD, right? So 24%. Now the remaining amount, we have some, collaboration channel partner with the investment companies that invest in different asset classes, such as crypto mining, foreign sea exchange, commodity, and technology. So with that investment, they're getting about 20%, 15 to 20% return. So with the in return on the investment, they pay the payment plan.
Interesting. So you have this structured now. So for them to be able, so they invest in other avenues in order to purchase this real estate.
Yes. So the principal hardly like depreciate, but the return can pay for the payment plan. So
That's
in a way,
amazing.
you almost keep your principal and then you use the return to pay for the off plan. So in fact, it's almost like return stacking. So making great returns on their investments. Yes.
I'm a little mind blown. That's incredible. That's
Because
incredible.
everything is growing so fast here and there's so many intelligent people here. So, making the double digit return is very achievable.
That is so cool. And again, just logistically moving the funds. So let's say you had money to invest and you wanted to move it over there. You said that transferring between bank accounts and so forth, it shouldn't be a problem. Like there's no issues to move money from Canada and so forth.
So what happens is typically if a Canadian sells their home, of course, depending if it's their principal home, if their principal home, there's no capital gains tax. If it's an investment property, they pay the applicable taxes, then the money is clean. It's your after-tax money. So you can move it wherever you want. So when clients, there's a currency exchange, right? So the banks, I learned this way a little bit harder way because when you transfer Canadian dollar to convert to dirham, you don't know actually how much you're going to get on this end. In fact, the bank is taking a spread. So that could be a significant amount. So therefore, we have a collaboration with the currency exchange company. So then
Really?
yes, so then you know exactly how much you were getting rather than unknown. Because I
Yeah.
send like some money and then I don't know how much dirham I'm gonna get. I send this much. It's just like, okay, they told me this much. So in fact, you're losing it for the bank, whichever bank it is. It could be Canadian bank or Dubai bank. We don't know who took it. But it's not like it's not Google rate. When you Google the rate, it's not that rate. If you need the contact, I can share with you. So you have to book the rate. In
Okay.
Vancouver, there are some currency exchange companies, the bank, but the bank usually is less. So you must book it with the currency exchange company to solidify the amount because, Canadian dollar is dropping. You want to make sure that you're getting, a good rate for your money. And then you can, wire the AED to Dubai. So you're buying the AED in Canada rather than just send the CAD, Canadian, to Dubai. So very
Awesome.
important for this one.
That is very important. Thank you for sharing that. You touched on the visa. That's like if people wanted to permanently live there, right?
So there's the one I talked about is the golden visa. So another visa you can get, suppose you're investing, I think 750,000 CAD, which is about, I think it's about less than half a million Canadian. You can get a 2-year investor visa. 2-year investor
Okay.
visa if you want to just be here for 2 years, but that need to renew every 2 years, and 2 year go by very fast. So if you were investing in this much, I would just try to upgrade later and just have the 10-year visa.
That makes
So
sense.
2-year investor visa, very easy to get. Like we have our company, we give our staff a 2-year employee visa, and you can also open a company and then, give yourself a visa, which is also 2 years, and you need to renew your company license and renew the visa every 2 years. So in fact, when you renew, you pay some fees, and that is how the government have a stream of income because all this visa and company license is a source of revenue.
That's right. That makes sense. And then, so if you get a 2-year visa, can you renew for 10 years after that?
Only if you have in real estate. Right?
Investments.
It's only
Yes.
through the real estate for the 10-year visa. Or you could be a very talented individual. Suppose, you have invented something, or like a certified musician or a doctorate degree, you can go under that department to get a 10-year visa. Suppose a doctor, surgeon wanted to come to Dubai. Dubai actually have medical professional 10-year golden visa. It's not through real estate anymore. So
Okay.
talented individual may also qualify for a 10-year golden visa.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you have a lot of Canadians investing there?
Some clients, they're making a second residency, like a second residency. So,
Hmm.
they maybe live in both places, most of the time here, sometime there. So, like this, planning their transition.
So, what is this Minister of Happiness?
Dubai has a minister of happiness, because there's so many expats like myself. Over 90% of the population of residents are, in fact, from somewhere else. So sometimes when different culture, like moving from Canada to the Middle East, we feel it's like maybe this process can improve. Then they're open to you sharing your opinion and how they can improve the process to keep the customer happy. Because in fact, all expats are customers, right? So customer satisfaction is very important.
Wow. So, you get treated really well there, it seems like you get
Yes,
really
we're
well
like
taken
VIP
care of.
residents. It's almost like being spoiled. We feel spoiled. And
Right?
sometimes, yes, like, it's so convenient here as well. So when we want cleaning, it's like 10 Canadian per hour for cleaning. When I went back to Canada, every time I go back, I feel like DIY everything. Here, there's so many people to help you do everything. So cleaning, handyman can come, plumber, electrician can come within a few hours. It's just an app and you request a plumber or electrician, they will come. Even like IKEA, when you book it, they will install it, deliver it, and take away the garbage.
All right, sign me up.
It's so convenient. Okay, when I arrive back, I have jet lag and I want some groceries because we have no groceries after traveling back from Canada. In 90 minutes, you can have organic groceries delivered to your door at
That's
4 a.m.
amazing.
4 a.m.
What? No. That is so cool. Okay, you know what? Now I really need to get to Dubai. I really, really do. That sounds amazing.
Yes. And for my son, he is like 2, right? When we got here. So he didn't even know how to walk yet. But downstairs, like there's daycare and nursery everywhere and very reasonable price. We pay like 1,000 Canadian. He can be in daycare from 8 to 6. But of course, we don't leave him for that long. So very flexible. We drop him like 10, pick him up at 4. So we can do some work. So, but they're so nice to him and they have even an in-house nurse. So it's really amazing and an app that I can, see his activities. It's great. It's just like so convenient. You feel spoiled when you go back to anywhere else. It's like not so convenient.
We get treated like a princess over there.
I know. I feel like a princess. And everywhere you go, somebody will call you ma'am. Can I help you, ma'am? Can I help you, ma'am?
Very
So,
respectful. I like that.
yes,
So,
yes.
speaking of nurse, and I know we didn't touch on this, how is the medical system there?
So for the 10-year golden visa, you need to also buy the basic insurance. The basic insurance is about 2,000 dirham for 2 years, which is less than 1,000 Canadian. So you get the basic coverage. For example, like if you need to see a doctor for cold, it's like 10 dirham, like really low, and you can buy the prescription from the pharmacy. But actually, I have Dr. Andre Liepert, my husband. I call him Dr. Andre because he's a health nutritionist, scientist. He reads a lot of books. He goes, if you have a cold, nothing doctor can do. You just buy the like prescription. So, in Dubai, very convenient. A lot of like medication is online you can buy. You don't need a
Hmm.
doctor's note. So for cough and cold, we just, go on our app and deliver to you within an hour. So cough syrup, anything, it's so convenient. If you know what you want to get, you just get it delivered to you in 90 minutes. You don't need, and if you really need to see a doctor, you can have an app. The doctor will come to your home.
Really?
Yes, you can call in a doctor.
Wow, that is amazing. What a difference from Canada and the lifestyle that we have here to over there. What it's night and day. It's mind-blowing for me. I love that you shared this with me. Is there anything else you can throw at me before we let you go? Because I love this information. This is just incredible.
So very convenient life, but it's not for everyone. Like for us in the beginning, it does take some adjustment. So for us, coming from Vancouver in Canada, the air is so nice. When we go back to Vancouver, oh, the air, the trees, is just so clean. Coming
Mhm.
here, you do feel a little bit congested. The air is not so good. So, of course, at home we have a air filter, humidifier, AC. So to make yourself comfortable, there are things that can, help to make it better. There is a lot of greens though. If you go into different areas, they're making it more and more green. So the vision for Dubai by 2040 is at least 40 to 60% green.
I love that. That is such a great vision. Because they're also bringing in more population. They want more people, but they're also saying we're going to have more green, more trees, and more stuff. I love
Yes.
that. That's beautiful.
A lot of mega projects, for example, the Dubai Mangrove, meaning like a water forest along the coastline to protect the Dubai coastline, as well as regenerate like better oxygen. So there's a mangrove project, as well as planting lots of coral to regenerate the marine life.
Amazing.
Lots of
Amazing.
amazing, innovative projects.
Very impressive. I am super impressed. But Melissa, I've taken so much of your time. I really, really appreciate you being on here. Thank you
My
so much.
pleasure.
And just tell us how we can reach you. And for anybody that is looking for investments or wanting to know about Dubai and how they can make some money over there.
Yes, so definitely can contact me through WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp a lot. So, or you can message me, you can call me. My cell phone is a Canadian number is 604-783-8272. My Dubai number is country code 971-50-979-2888. So WhatsApp me, call me, message me, very easy to get a hold of me.
Well, that was extremely informative. I've learned so much from Melissa, and I'm so grateful for her time. I hope you found this informative as well, and you got a lot of value out of it. And of course, give Melissa a shout if you have any questions on Dubai real estate. Thank you for joining us on The Wealthy Acre. I'm your host, Deanna Kleine.